Welcome to episode 28 of the Prosperity on Air podcast. I'm your host, Paola De Vescovi, and today is the last day of 2019. I don't know about you, I'm quite happy that this year is coming to an end. It's been quite a demanding year as far as I'm concerned. I cannot say negative at all. Life is about ups and downs and challenges, and sometimes these challenges are very exciting, and at other times they are more demanding. And to me, 2019 has brought about more demanding challenges than exciting ones, so I'm really looking forward to more exciting challenges and a lighter energy in 2020. From what I heard from the astrologers about the transits that will characterize the new year, the energy is certainly going to be lighter. It will be a year of transformation, and so I'm really looking forward to it. My guest today is Marta Ceccato. Marta is an online marketing and social media consultant. She has a proven track record of helping multi-million-dollar brands build effective marketing strategies to drive growth. After spending 15 years working with brands like Johnson & Johnson, PayPal, King, Tesco, etc., Marta founded Sapiens Media Coaching with the aim of developing entrepreneurs harness the power of online and social media marketing to grow their business without breaking the bank. If you noticed, the episodes that we recorded in November focused very much on going within, getting in touch with your inner soul, the inner part of yourself, to be able to understand your desire, your needs, your values, and to be able to listen to your intuition. In December, the episodes were more focused on becoming visible, on making your voice heard, on letting people know about who you are and be found by your clients. And today's episode with Marta concludes, if you want, this series on becoming visible using social media and online marketing. And we will focus especially on social media and online marketing for those of you who are just starting out. So the topics that we will be covering, like defining your ideal clients, about the steps you need to consider when you are just starting out, about being able to still drive organic traffic, that is, without having to pay for advertising traffic to your website. And also the possibility of outsourcing those parts of your business that you don't particularly like or that are taking too much of your time to somebody like Marta, even if you're starting out and you are on a budget. So I think this is really an ideal episode to conclude 2019 and to start 2020. So for those of you who are thinking about launching their business, creating their business in 2020, I'm sure that you will find this episode very useful. Today's episode is sponsored by my brand new membership group coaching program, the Prosperity Hub, that is starting in January. And I must say I'm very proud of this program because it makes it possible for me to finally achieve a goal that was very dear to my heart, that has always been very dear to my heart, that of making coaching really available and affordable, even to those people who cannot afford to pay for very expensive programs, including mine. So all the information about this program are in the show notes of this episode. So I don't want to take too much of your time telling you about the program. Just I'm very excited. I'm really looking forward to starting with the first masterclass in January that is about to, really taking your prosperity in your hands. And without any further ado, please read the information in the show notes of the episode, and let's move to my interview with Marta. Marta, thank you for being here with me. It's a double pleasure because of what you do, and now you will tell my audience, you will briefly introduce yourself, but we are both Italians, so it's a double pleasure for me to have you here on the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure for me. Thank you.
So yes, can you tell my audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, how you ended up in London? Yeah, so just briefly introduce yourself.
I'm a social media and online marketing consultant. I mainly work with small businesses and entrepreneurs. I help them harness the power of digital marketing to grow their business online without feeling overwhelmed. As you said, I'm Italian. I've been in London for almost 20 years. I got here after my university, just wanted to stay here for a bit, and then actually I really loved it. The opportunities also, I came over with a basic English and I started working at McDonald's. I was also working as a nanny. And then from there, really motivated by the fact that I didn't want to go home. My parents were against me going to London. So I really wanted to show to them that I could make it on my own. I just, got into my first office job. And then from there, I got into marketing. My background was no marketing. So really, I wanted to be a translator. So when I was in Italy, my degree was all around languages and translation. And then when I got here, actually, I took a different path and I started with online marketing.
One thing you probably don't know that I have been and still am, in a way, a conference interpreter for 26 years full time. Wow. So we also have this in common. So not only we are Italians, but also we share the love for languages and and helping people communicate, basically. So how did you get into this business?
It was actually by chance. As I said, I came here, I was working at McDonald's and I was a nanny, and I didn't have a background in marketing. And I actually applied for a role in a startup that then was acquired by Google. And they were looking for someone that could speak languages. So that's where my background, my studies helped me. And then that's how I started and I got into marketing. It was mainly mobile marketing. It was early stage. It was really hard to explain to people, and also myself understanding how everything was working. But yeah, then from there I loved it. So I carried on, got a certificate in marketing. And I just started working with multi-million-dollar brands. And 15 years after, I'm still in the same sector and I still love it.
And still loving it. Yeah. So this is what is important. All right. So digital marketing is a very broad field. So can you tell my audience exactly what it implies?
Well, as you said, it's broad, and there are, different channels and different ways. It could be email marketing, social media, video advertising, or just social media advertisers. So there are different aspects of marketing, but one pillar is the strategy. So really understanding your ideal customers and what are the goals that you're trying to achieve, and then is implementing and selecting the right tools and platforms, and then measuring and just making sure that you are achieving your goals. So I think despite there are different aspects and different ways of doing it, the three pillars are the same across all channels.
Okay, just inspired by what you just said, one of the most difficult things that I can see in the clients that I'm coaching, and the clients I'm coaching for their business, okay, is understanding and have clarity about their ideal client. So how do you help your clients get this clarity? Because I imagine that also, as far as you are concerned, there's, they come to you and there's a little bit of confusion. They tend to be, very broad. They want to, reach everyone, and things, don't work very well when you are trying to be everything for everyone.
Yeah. And I think, the first thing is, as you said, you're trying to reach everybody and you reach nobody basically, because then your message is not right and it gets diluted. I think for me, it's always about, first, especially if you're like a coach or somebody working in the service industry, it's like, who do you want to work with? Because at the end of the day, you will be in contact with these people quite a lot. So it's really important for you to define what type of customer would you want to work with. You're not selling them, if you're not selling to them something, then as I said, if you're in the service industry, the best thing is to start with, who do you want to work with? And then is who can afford to pay for your services? Again, I think a lot of people find the mistake is, you're not running a charity, you're running a business. So despite you want to help people, you still need to think about, do these people can afford to pay me for my services? And then is, who can benefit the most from your services or products? So I think these are the three most important questions you should start with. And then from there, I've got like a full questionnaire, and it's all drilling down and just understand, who these people are, what they do, where they hang out, and so that you can really understand how to reach them with the right message. And you can have a business where you have different ideal customers. It's just making sure that you have the right channel in place and the right messages depending on who you are targeting. I think I've heard a lot of people saying, even when they choose their social media channels, they say, I choose Facebook because that's the platform where I feel more comfortable. But at the end of the day, if your ideal client is not on Facebook, there is no point in you spending a lot of time doing live videos and blog posts. So yeah, it's really about who you want to reach and work with.
You said one thing that is very important, and that I think it is also very important to stress this. You may have different ideal clients, of course. So what do you suggest your clients? For example, I may have, different types of clients that I want to reach. Let's say, I mainly work with women entrepreneurs, but, I also work with men, although my main clients are women entrepreneurs. I also have men, and I may have different messages for them. I may have also different programs or services, some services that are really customized for women, and broader services where, that speak also to men. What do you suggest to your clients? Are you sending out these messages at the same time, or would you advise them, to maybe promote your services for one type of client they are there at different times? What is your suggestion?
It all depends on your business priorities, and for example, if you're launching a package that is specific to female, then you will focus your effort and resources on that. A lot of people I work with, they are like sole entrepreneurs, so they really need to focus. So it can become really hard when you are going after two type of clients, because it means that you might have to write two type of posts. You have to, it's double work basically, and it can be really distracting. So I think that's why I say always, what your business goal is at the moment. Are you promoting a new program? So who is the target audience for that program, and focus on that, because otherwise it becomes really challenging, especially when you work on your own and you do everything by yourself. So I think it's really important to understand what you're trying to achieve and what you want to sell or promote at that time.
Okay, let's assume that, a person who's starting out, so it's, in the startup phase, they have, an idea what they want to do, and they are starting, to build up their website and organizing their business. And of course, the marketing, they already have, in mind the products or services that they want to sell. What do you suggest your clients to begin with in terms of, online digital marketing for their business?
Well, once they've done all the homework, which is, as I said, identify the ideal clients, and that's my initial step. I think is really, as I said, especially if you've got a small budget, there are a lot of organic ways of bringing clients in. And you don't have to start investing money on paid advertising. As you said, it would be creating content, leveraging your network. You could have like interviews on somebody's Facebook page, or you could have like even going. A lot of the time, people forget about their offline network, and now they can leverage that to get online. You might know people who are running online communities, or they got big like presence on LinkedIn. You can promote each other. So there's a lot of ways of, also Google has got a lot of free tools that small businesses can use, and really try to get the awareness out about your business, what you do, who you are helping, and then moving more towards about what you're selling. So I always say leverage all those organic and free ways of getting known and getting people to know what you do before you start investing money, and build up a really, I would say warm leads. So people there, you are then able to convert into paying customers, either through paid advertising or just in, for example, newsletters and things like that.
Marta, we started our online businesses the same period of time. That is about 9-10 years ago, and things have changed enormously. And I remember when I first started, the organic traffic and therefore publishing content was the way to go, because there went so many people and so many businesses already online and promoting themselves online. So things have certainly changed over the years. So my question is this organic way of doing things? And for my beginner audience, organic means that you are doing this without paying for traffic or advertising. So is this organic way of doing things and publishing content, is it still working?
Yeah, I think it is. You just need to be consistent. As I said, I always say there's more than enough business for everybody out there, and we are all so different. Even if we offer the same services, it could be my personality could fit better certain type of customers. So I think it does work. You need to be really consistent, and even when you publish content, always think about you're publishing content on somewhere where your ideal customer is, and leverage all channels, podcast, video, written content. There is so much more that you can do nowadays through like there are so many formats out there that really, I think it's just we got more opportunities across different platforms.
One concern that maybe somebody in the startup phase may have is, I understand that I cannot do everything on my own by myself. Also because I'm not an expert in everything. I may be an expert in my field. I'm very good at what I do, but I don't know anything about, copywriting and marketing and promoting myself and many other things. But one concern may be, if I want to outsource maybe the marketing part, it's a cost. So what can you say to somebody who has this kind of concern?
Well, obviously, there is a cost, but I think if you're serious about your business, you need to have a marketing budget. As I said, to start with, we can start with free channels, and you don't need to have a website. You don't need to have really sophisticated things out there. You could start with a Facebook page and then like a Google My Business profile. It all depends on how you're serving your clients. But then if you really want to scale and reach more customers, you have to invest money in marketing. I mean, it's just the way it works if you really want to scale, if you're serious about your business. So it's something that, you need to, it's just like training. It's the same thing. You need to plan for it, and you need to have some budget set aside for marketing.
So if I have to start today, what would you advise me to focus on?
Well, it depends on your goals. I would say don't go and spend thousands of pounds in like building a website and having all these fancy things and all these templates. If you're missing the basic, I would say be really clear on who your target customer is and be really clear on your goals and be focused. And everything else can come after. You can then build a website later on, and you can get a copywriter. I mean, stuff like the website and the copywriter, I see those as a long-term investment. So you spend money and then you got an asset. So it's worthwhile waiting until you got the money, and you can do, you can have a great start that then you can leverage for years to come. So.
And what do you love most about, helping your clients?
I think it's, it's because I've been working with a lot of, big brands, and I've been working closely with Google and Facebook. And I know that they don't invest time and effort on helping smaller businesses because they don't see as much return of investment as they see with big brands. And so for me, it's really being able to help those smaller businesses, enable them. And also sometimes like you see that there's a lot of things they are not aware of and a lot of free tools they could use. So really the satisfaction to see them getting more comfortable, more familiar. The stuff I do is I do them for you, but also I do only the strategy piece and I coach them. So then when they go on like sites like Fiverr, they know what to ask for. So I know a lot of people that have spent money and they got nothing in return. So it's really educating them so they know, what expectations to set and what to ask for. So, yeah.
Well, I can imagine that you have been and you still are very satisfied when you see your clients' success, of course, and you contributed to that success as well. But is there, a client, a project that you particularly loved?
Do I have a favorite client? I think in general, as I said,
not in terms of your favorite client, but just, the project that maybe because it was the most challenging one. Yeah. So you felt particularly, fulfilled and rewarded when it finally, I don't know, something that, it was really important to you.
I think, because I get so involved with my clients, with what they do, and I get involved from the beginning. I've got a lot of clients that are like starting from scratch. And so all of them are like for me, they are successes, and I love all of them. And whenever I work with a client, I always make sure that we are in line in terms of value, and I see myself working with them. So that's why for me, all of them are successes, and all of them are like stories that I remember. And when I see them and I see, oh yeah, they have applied my, my instruction and my suggestions, I'm like, I'm actually satisfied.
So you feel a partner of your
Yes,
client.
yeah, that's how I position myself. For me, it's like, for me, their business is my business. When I work with them, I really like want them to succeed. So I know myself how hard it is to pay somebody to do something for you. So that's why for me, it's really important to build that trust and relationship and making sure that they feel comfortable. I'm just, telling them what is best for them.
Yeah, you mentioned a very important word, which is trust.
Mm-hmm.
So when you establish this trust, whatever you do for your clients is a magic ingredient, in my opinion, because, you can do what you can do best, and they can totally rely on you that you are taking care of that part of their business, and they don't have to worry about it. So yes, this is...
And I'm the first one to say if there is something they cannot deliver, I'm the first one to say I cannot do this, but I can recommend you, or I can be your point of contact, and I'll just use my resources or I've got a network of people that are like really good at other things. So yeah, I'm the first one to say no, I cannot deliver. I wouldn't like take the money and then I'll just deliver something that is not high standards or high quality.
Yeah, amazing. What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received?
I think is perfectionism kills success. I'm a perfectionist myself, and sometimes I still less than before, but sometimes I spend so much time, even like when I do my posts, my things, so much time, make sure that everything is aligned, everything is, perfect. And that means that to do something takes me more time, and sometimes you get to the point where like, okay, well, it's too late now, it's no point. So yeah, I think sometimes it's better to go out with whatever you got, and then you adapt it and change it, rather than sitting on it for like weeks and then you don't deliver anything. So yeah, I think talking to my network, a lot of people have got the same issues, just trying to be...
One of my mentors says you first jump, and when you jump, the net will appear. No,
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, it can also be applied to perfectionism. I mean, you just have to get out and let the world know about you and your business, even if the copy is not perfect, the website is not perfect, the pictures not perfect. But you always have time to tweak it and to improve it. But, if you sit there and you don't let the world know about you, you will not have clients, you don't have a business.
Yeah. It's basically like running a circle where it's like, you don't have the money, so you cannot pay somebody to do it better than what you have done. So
yeah, it's true. The name of my podcast is Prosperity on Air, and that I speak everything about prosperity. So success is part of that. So my question is, what does success, but also what does prosperity mean to you?
I think it's feeling happy and being happy with what you're doing, where you are, and I always think that if you're happy, then everything will come in abundance. So yeah, I think for me, success is feeling satisfied and thinking like I'm doing something that I love doing. And, every morning I get up and I'm really happy about, what's ahead of me. So yeah, that's for me what success is. Some people will say it's money, but, at the end of the day, money doesn't buy happiness. We know about it. So it might make your life a bit easier, but I think if you're happy, then a lot of good things will come to you. And so yeah, I think it's really important.
So if you had a magic ball and you were able to maybe go back in time and, be able to speak with your younger self, what would you advise her?
I think it's be more confident. I think because of my background, I was brought up in a way where, like, it's quite in a protective family, and as I said, I struggled to get to London. My parents didn't like it, and I've never been really confident because of, like, okay, it's your task to be good at school, and there is no reason to go and shout out, that you've done this and that, and always about keep quiet. So I think that really affected a bit my confidence, and as I've grown up and qualified as a coach would also help me and to acquire that confidence, and also think every time now that I do something, I maybe think about maybe I shouldn't be so loud about it, or I always ask myself what's the worst that can happen, just go for it, try. It's it's, even if it's an error, you will learn something from it, and next time you will avoid it. So I think you just go for it, just do it, just be confident. There's nothing that is so.
And follow your passions and dreams.
Yes, exactly. It's like sometimes we feel like we have to follow a path, and you have to break free and do what you really want to do, and feel happy.
Yeah. And what is the message that you would like to leave our listeners with?
I think it's never be afraid to break the mold and do something new. Because if you don't try, you don't know what you could have achieved, and you don't want to be regretful. As I said, always ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen?
And Marta, where can our listeners find out more about yourself and what you do?
I've got a website, which is www.sapiensmediacoaching.com. I've got, you can find me on Instagram, Sapiens Media Coaching, Sapiens Media on Twitter. And then I've got a group on Facebook, which is Online Marketing Made Simple, where I just, share tips, advice, updates on marketing, just to help those small entrepreneurs and business owners that want to get a bit more of easy to apply advice.
And you will find all the links to Marta's website and Facebook group and Instagram page in the show notes of this episode. So they will all be, it will be easy to reach you just clicking on the links. Marta is one of the amazing speakers at the Women Who Dare to Desire conference taking place on the 31st of January 2020. So come to the conference to know more about her story. If you happen to be in London, the link to register to the conference is in the show notes too. And for those of you who are not in London, it may be an opportunity to come and visit London and to go and be inspired by all the amazing speakers that I'm interviewing these days, and get to know more about them and really be inspired in your life and in your business. So Marta, thank you again for being with me today.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was great talking to you.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person in January.
Likewise.
I'm sure you found this episode very useful, especially if you are considering to start your own business or to take your existing business to the next level in 2020. And if you already have a business, maybe, you received some insights about maybe reviewing some of your services or your products, or considering to outsource those parts of your business that maybe are more stressful or overwhelming for you to somebody like Marta, who can do them better and maybe more easily. Having said that, I really want to take this opportunity to wish you from my heart a beautiful, successful, prosperous, lighter 2020, filled with everything that you really desire in every area of your life. So, as I said, this is the last episode of 2019, and we will have the first episode of 2020 in a few days, on Friday, actually. As you know, I'm interviewing all these amazing speakers at the Women Who Dare to Desire conference taking place in London on January 31st, 2020. And since there are quite a few of them whose interviews I really need to broadcast before the conference takes place in January, I need to have 2 episodes a week. So for the whole month of January, you will have 2 appointments with the Prosperity on Air podcast on Tuesdays and Fridays, leading to the conference. And then we will have a very special episode on the day of the conference itself. So once again, I really wish you all the best for 2020. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and I will see you on Friday. Bye for now.